one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jerry?
Mr. Vandal.
Here.
Mr. DeVore.
Here.
Mr. Schultz.
Here.
Any additions or subtractions to today's agenda?
I don't have any.
Motion on the agenda.
Jerry?
Yep.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Gary, say
Any corrections to the August 27th, 2024 minutes? If not, I'd take a motion.
I'll make a motion to the minutes.
Support for approval of minutes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approved pay application for jail remodel expenses. Is that this invoice here from Rick?
Yeah, there's, I don't know if these are hard to read, but there's one that we're paying Rick, the $34,707.55. And then, Midwest Group, we're paying the $23,701.07. And then our Jacobsman Westegard are paying the $10,663.35. And John called me yesterday. He said that they'll probably open the bids October 17th, he said. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to pay those jail remodel expenses.
There's a big chair over here. Any further comments or questions? Now I'd take a second.
I'll reluctantly offer a second. I've not been real pleased with the communication and direction throughout the process, but it's in the works, I guess.
It's been a little underwhelming. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 8:50, department heads. Let's start with Andre and work our way around.
Okay, good morning. Child Care, the Community Foundation recently gave a $5,210 grant to Bright Beginnings. This was to furnish the Head Start room where Head Start moved out of, so that'll open 12 more spaces in the Child Care. Dentist, I've spoke with a few in the area to see if they'd be interested in open a satellite clinic here in the county, but staffing seems to be a huge problem across the board, so still working on it. Housing, looking at possibly doing a housing feasibility study for the county. Clearly, the housing market is not great right now, but if we can kind of start figuring some stuff out, if things improve, maybe we'll be ready to do something. It was also brought to my attention that homeowners insurance is getting harder and harder to get in Iowa due to some recent laws that were passed. So I'm working with my Northwest Iowa Developers Group to see if we can get some of our opinions up at the state level and see if we can maybe get something adjusted, because the state can't tell us to bring people in and not be able to insure their homes. And then the disaster recovery fund, we're up to $1,800. I'm going to work with Dan to see if we're ready to give that money out now or if we want to wait. Seems like, as usual, the FEMA and the state programs, now the bureaucracy, that word, is starting to really come in and make things complicated. So it might be one where, do we want to wait and help out as winter approaches for people that may need a little bit of help with that? That's all I have.
Can you share, I saw that Northwest Iowa Development honored Josh Earl.
Correct.
For
So
the
Josh
meeting
Earl was
last week.
nominated for the Beyond Expectations Award for his work that he does with Sibley Housing and Development. And also Casey Connor was awarded for the work he's done with the grocery stores in the area here, so.
Thanks.
We had a resignation again, so we'll be hiring again. And we had our annual jail inspection last week, and that went as usual, like the past 20 years we've gone, so.
We've been finishing some projects. We put a new boat ramp in at the Ocean Pits using some of the supplies that we already had on hand. Both of the county shooting ranges are back open again after the flooding. Still doing some mowing. Been busy with programs, I'd say, for the last couple weeks, and it will continue on through the rest of the month. Like this week, there are 3 monarch tagging programs. Friday, we will be at Farm Safety Day, and then Sunday at the Clay County Fair, we will be Dutch oven cooking. I know Jerry has been there before. I recommend everybody, if you want some delicious free food at the fair, come on over. The cabin. Very good. The interior floor is poured for the cabin. The contractor showed up today to pour the porch, and I talked to the guy who's gonna be doing the framing. They're hoping to be there towards the end of the week, first part of next week. So things are moving along there.
Yeah, we're geared up, ready to start driving the county, making sure, we'll be out starting Monday, so looking for new construction. And, that's all we got on our radar right now. Start 25 values.
Tax statements obviously went out. Most of you probably have gotten them. Tax payments are also coming in, so a lot of questions as why they have gone up. So we shoot them over to Sharon usually. I would second Nick's Dutch oven cooking. Matt did a presentation for a meeting that I had, and it was very good. So if you have a chance, go get there.
Flooding updates. So we have been, secondary roads, we've been meeting with FEMA representatives weekly now. So bureaucracy wise, at least they meet. It's not typically fast. We are going to be scheduling tours with them and the Army Corps of Engineers to look at the bridges that were impacted as part of the process of securing funding for those. And we've been inspecting all bridge crossings to determine if there's more scour problems than what we originally saw. Now the water's starting to recede somewhat. We have 4 locations that are still closed and will remain closed until we get through the FEMA process. But all of our other gravels and other types of roads are open now. The big asphalt paving project, that contractor was delayed, but they are starting this week. They're starting tomorrow. They're going to start down on A34 down by Ashton. The truck shop is getting close to being completed. It should be completed this month. We're going to be scheduling a punch list meeting with them on the 16th. And then equipment-wise, we finally did receive our 4 tandem trucks. We picked them up. They are in our possession. So good to go on those for the winter season.
Well, I am here, he's kind of talking about that gray building that you're guys going to tear down in the winter months. And I was hoping that the board would consider putting out bids to put up a fence along the back so that on the east-south side, we can designate that as basically the in-town lot for the sheriff's vehicles that they impound. All I have.
Registration, you can renew your ATVs and your Rangers and snowmobiles as of September 1st for 2025, so we've got a lot of people coming in for that. And our printer for hunting and fishing license is down, and they're sending us the replacement, but we haven't gotten that yet, so.
You guys want to chime in?
We're just here for our first meeting, so when I brought Kaylee along, she's a school to career student that's shadowing us this week. She's in the hospital throughout the semester and going department to department, so I thought this would be a good opportunity for both of us to show.
Thanks for coming.
Awesome.
We're busy with passports. There is the certification from the Secretary of State's office should have happened September 3rd for the general election, but the U.S. representative, there is a lawsuit about the Libertarian. Their petition was objected, so now we're waiting for the Supreme Court hearing. So hopefully the end of this week I will have it. I sent what I have to my printers, and I can verify what I got, but until I hear from them, I can't print our ballots, and I have to have ballots ready by the 21st of September for our Yuba Kappa voters. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
That hearing's today, isn't it?
I think so. So hopefully I'll hear something by the end of the week.
Who had snacks today?
Sharon did.
I would just like to say thank you to all the department heads. When we were in Des Moines at the meetings, I talked to a few different supervisors. We've got it pretty darn good. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I early or late?
You're good.
Don't, you're still here.
How's everybody?
Help yourself to whoever wants.
Leave the donuts alone.
Yep. We can move our stuff.
I got 7 of these, I don't know how many I needed.
That works.
7 today.
Good. That's good choice, all you.
What's that?
See
See what I got to put up with?
You're not on the agenda, right? You're not on the agenda.
Discuss that.
Should I keep going?
Sure. Here's an extra one if somebody wants them.
I wouldn't understand it anyway.
I think you would.
It's all you, Rick.
Ready for me to start?
Yep.
So, Ed, when you and me and Jared kind of walked through, and then Rob and I came back, and we walked through and we kind of had a few different ideas and stuff. So what we did is we come up with a preliminary deal, what we kind of thought was the best. Prior to us really starting to investigate, taking tiles out, it's something I'd want to walk through with all of you guys again, possibly today or whenever works for you, to show you what my thoughts are. As we, if you proceed with this, as we get into it, we can run into where we might decide to want to move something around here or there, or change something up, you know. So my fear is, you know, getting into it and we run into an obstruction, we might have to move a furnace to a different location or this or that. I can't foresee any real cost changes in doing that. It's just, it would have to be an approval through you guys or something. What I did, if you look at your sheets, if you go to that first one, so I just kind of labeled this one Rochelle's office. What we figured doing in there is that room between Rochelle and the north office. We were going to put a furnace in that center room, put a thermostat in there with a zone, run a spiral duct through the wall, up along the ceiling for Rochelle's, and put registers in that, and then through the driver's license office also. They'd all three have 3 separate thermostats. So the thermostats that I'd figure using are all Wi-Fi. You can lock them out if you want. So somebody'd have to use a code, so you don't have to use lock boxes or anything. And they come with remote sensors, so we can, if we don't like the location of the thermostat, we're limited of where we can put these thermostats. That's why I went with these. So we can actually use just a battery operated remote sensor, and we can sense the temperature from a different location. So that'll solve any issues that we may have with placement of the thermostats without trying to run a conduit or, you know, something gaudy looking there.
So if the Wi-Fi goes down, we lose a furnace?
Nope, they still work, it's just you can't operate them on your phone.
Okay.
And you don't have to hook them to the Wi-Fi, but it might be beneficial if you do have them locked, if somebody wanted to, or, you know, Rochelle, if she had them on hers, she could actually turn the temperature up in this for a special meeting or something, just with her phone from home or anything.
And like you told me, like my office, it'd be for Becky and mine, but if one has the heater on, we both have to have the heater on. One can't have the heater and one can't have the air on, correct?
Correct. So when we do a zoning, so I got a couple zoning systems in here. So Rochelle's would be zoned. So one of our biggest features of getting rid of the boiler and the chiller system is we're either cooling or we're either heating, and then you got 2 weeks of with or without of kind of uncomfortableness. So like Sharon could heat over here and Rochelle could cool or vice versa. Okay. But with the zoned one, Rochelle can't heat and Becky can't cool at the same time with the zone system. So, but, you know, you're going to have a little bit of that. So the upper floor, Ed and I went up there and we found that there's ductwork throughout the whole upstairs that we never really realized there was. So when we went up and investigated, the ductwork is shot. I mean, it's, and I hate to say it, but you guys are probably losing a ton of heat. Even if you don't go with this, we need to get that sealed up because air from them, the courtroom and upstairs is, it's just like a chimney. It's just going right up. So we had figured on replacing all the ductwork. We would reuse the registers that go through the ceilings and then ports, but we would put new air handlers up there, all new ductwork, all insulated ductwork. And then up there, we figured on putting electric furnaces just for the top 2 due to they're in the attic. And we don't want, the condensing furnaces have water, so we don't want to fight that. So there would be 2 systems upstairs. The courtroom would have its very own thermostat and air conditioner and furnace. And then the rest of the whole area would be on one thermostat itself. That's where them thermostats are going to come in handy with we can also put up to, I think, 7 sensors. So we can put a sensor in every room and temperature average too. So the thermostats give us a lot of room for, we don't necessarily have to do it right away, but if we have some uncomfortableness in a couple of rooms, we can add them and solve that issue. So that upstairs, the attic one is probably gonna be the simplest, you know, since there's already forced air and stuff in there. Then, okay, so the assessor's office and then this office. We felt the best way to do it, are these concrete floors in here? I believe they are.
I think so.
So what I wanted to do is try to get this office done with the basement furnace through the floor, but I don't know if we can do that. So that's still an option of trying to flip-flop something around. I didn't know how successful we'd be cutting a bunch of registers in this here through that cement floor. But my other option was I wanted to come in the assessor's office in that closet. I wanted to put a furnace in there and we could duct through the wall with just registers. And then I wanted to bring a round duct through her hallway or where you walk in, through this here, elbow it, and I'd like to run that duct all the way over to that wall and then just kick registers in the side of it. This would have its own thermostat too. We would zone this. So again, the same thing with Sharon's office. If she's heating, you can't cool. If you had a meeting, all you gotta do is flip it to cool mode. It doesn't mean she has to cool the room down, but you'd have to have her thermostat into cool mode to get in here. So you couldn't do both at the same time. If we could get holes cut in the floor, would be better. And that's something that I think we could look at doing. I don't know how thick this is or all that, you know, we'd have to have somebody, and it could be cored as round ones too or something, but that could be a challenge. So we could eliminate putting that overhead duct in here and we could still zone it off of the basement one if we could do that. Okay, the basement units. And do you remember that closet or that nook area where we were thinking of putting the one furnace? I think that would work ideal. So where you go down in, before you turn right to go into the first office, there's a little nook in there. We put a furnace right there. And that would do kind of half of that entry. And then all the offices on the west side. And then I wanted to go over on the other side, more towards the north. And in that nook there, and we felt that would be a good spot for that furnace, and we could do the whole east side and kind of the east part in the bathrooms and all that, and kind of the east part of that entry there. So there'd be 2 furnaces down there. There would be no zoning. It would just, everybody be kind of one thermostat on one side and one thermostat on the other side. One could heat, one could cool, vice versa on that. Then the lower entry, and I feel Rochelle and I even talked, that's kind of a very important one. We have a very own furnace and Reggie's little maintenance closet there. And then that would take care of where you first come in, the first set of doors and that whole entry for heating and cooling. And I think, you know, with the traffic and people come in and out, I think it's pretty important to have a thermostat. And that thermostat, we could just have a sensor in there and that thermostat could be located back into Reggie's room back in there. And it wouldn't, we could just sense from out in the entries. And the office over here, the hunting license office, I haven't picked a spot. We never really found a great spot there. That would be one that I just figured doing a furnace and some spiral duct and an air conditioner. We're gonna just kind of have to take up a space in there and maybe build around it or something, you know. I didn't really find it. I was kind of hoping maybe on that north wall somewhere along there. But that's something we would have to address. So my only concerns, and I visited with Rochelle about it, is these vaults. I don't have nothing figured for in them. I don't know, they're all in the center of a building. I don't know if you need anything in them. I don't know how we would access into them. I mean, if it became a problem down the road, we might have to address it, but I don't have nothing figured for going into them. What's your thoughts on them?
Is there anything in there now? I mean, I know there's a unit, but does it do anything?
Well, it would heat and cool.
No, the one that we have in there now, does it heat and cool?
If there's a fan unit, it would. It should.
So I think you need to deal with the cooling to keep records dry.
Right, well, I thought of dehumidification, you know, for that. Even just because we put ductwork in, might not dehumidify, because I know we're gonna solve a lot of moisture problems. I know, was it a year or two ago, we were here with humidity problems in the building. I think the humidity's better this year, the way we're operating this air conditioner. So I think humidity is as a direct solution by putting a dehumidifier in, is my personal opinion. We can duct it, we can do all we want, and still don't need to dehumidify it. So, you know, we could go through a ton of expense to put ductwork in there and still got to put a dehumidifier in it. You know, do it just like your house. You know, the basements, we got to run them in some we don't. So that would be my own, and then I did go through with electrician or nothing. I can't imagine. I'm able to string gas line throughout everything. I can't imagine that electrician would have too much trouble, but I still think that has to be addressed, you know, before considering moving forward too. That upstairs would be my only concern of getting power up there. But I'm sure that there's a chase somewhere where they can get a conduit up there, you know. Ed and I went up on the roof. The 2 air conditioners on the roof, or the air handlers up top would sit on the roof. We need a roofer to get us a penetration there. That would not be included, you know, just a small curb, you know. I can't imagine that would be too expensive. The only other thing that I would have a concern, we'd be as careful as possible. So if I drill a hole through here and we start and we run into something, we might have to move that over. We might have a small patch or something, but it wouldn't be nothing major, you know? But that's a possibility we run into with a remodel like this.
If we go with this, how long would it take to put it in?
You could have it all done by spring. We have heat, so we're good there. The boiler system still works. I would say it's gonna take 5 months to do the project. And what I would do is do it in phases. That's another question I have, you know, with these cement bits, can we come later in the day or earlier in the morning if I have guys start at different hours when we're running these hammer drills? You're certainly not gonna want us running them while you're trying to work in your office. But you know, that's only like a day per office or a half a day, you know. We would want to work around that, but I would say it would take 5 months to complete the project. We would just do one phase at a time and get it done and then move to the next. The next thing, there's equipment changes coming soon. Did Rochelle talk to you guys about that a little bit?
Couple of them, I don't think not everybody.
So they're switching the new refrigerants to a propane type, a flammable refrigerant. And we don't think it's a very good deal that they're doing. In a commercial application like this, it hasn't been set in stone, but it sounds like they're gonna require us to put ventilation in a commercial building. So if it got a leak, it would ventilate it out. Sensors in the ductwork that would shut the equipment down if it sensed the leak. Each one of these units would consist of about one of them canisters of propane you put on a little grill or something. Maybe a bigger system might be 2, so it's not a lot of gas. Be no different than you having 2 of them sitting in your basement. I'm sure we all probably do. And I'm quite certain if one of them got a hole poked in, it probably wouldn't blow your house up, you know. But them are the regulations that they're gonna require us to go to. So I think you'd be best off if you didn't have that in this application. Because I don't know how we would ventilate outside every room like that, or system. We'd be dealing with a lot of systems to do that. So Other than that, there's some brochures on kind of the equipment and stuff, but that's pretty much all I got for it.
How quick would you have to know?
You know, I would say if you knew in 3-4 weeks to try to get equipment to beat that propane stuff. And I still think it's gonna take a little time to go walk through with you guys. I'd really like all of you supervisors to see what I have in my mind, and then I'm okay with you throwing some stones at it and forcing us to maybe come up with some different ideas too. Whatever works best, you know, and then we'd have to get an electrician to walk through.
Would you guys be okay with tabling this until next meeting, so you could go walk around with Rick and kind of get the feel for what he wants to do?
I think that would be the wisest.
Because I've kind of already went through with Rick and looked at all that.
What was your feelings on it, Ed?
I thought it would be a better workable program than what we got now. It'd be a lot easier maintenance compared to what we have now too.
So I can address that for you guys. What scares me, so obviously we know the chiller it's crazy. Well, then we're still dealing with old boilers that are by no means shot. My recommendation wasn't to replace them. If you replace them now, in 10 years, you're probably gonna replace the new ones. In 10 years, I think these should still be running. That's my honest opinion. So, but what fears me is you got steel pipe running underneath that cement driveway into this courthouse from inside of the sheriff's office. I don't know how good that is. I don't know what you do to replace it. It would be expensive, wouldn't it? You know, and that's big pipe. All these fan coil units are, I mean, I bet we work on 10, 15 of them every year, put new valves in them. You know, we're constantly doing something with them. You still got all the old air controlled thermostats. And then GNR has to come every year, and we're kind of at their mercy with controls. So we can come and work on equipment, but if it's a control issue, then we put our hands up and then they gotta come. So, you know, that would all be eliminated. I think your lifespan of this equipment would be as good, and you know, you can replace 1 or 2 little pieces here and there as you go versus having a major deal with the chiller.
How long a warranty is on these?
So if we go commercial application, it's 5 years. Residential, it's 10. Sometimes we can get by just registering them, and we can get the 10 if we just register them.
Michelle lives here, so.
So I would rather safely tell you 5, okay? But I'm gonna try to get you 10 on the parts. There's 2 years on the labor. So I can't guarantee you 10 on the parts. In commercial application, they usually drop it down to 5, but sometimes we just register them and it just goes through, so. But if it was going in your house, if you register them, you get 10. So, in commercial equipment, a chiller and boilers are gonna be 1 year. I think Andrew said, on parts and stuff. So, you know, your maintenance and stuff like that is gonna be way less. I also, Ed had brought up a good concern of, he went and looked at another courthouse, what was that, in Ringard? And he was concerned about all the piping and stuff on the outside of the building, and we're not gonna have that. We would go down to Schneff and have them match up metal as close to the color of the building as possible. We would fabricate line coverings, but, you know, the 2 upstairs are gonna be in a roof, so that's out. Most of them on the main floor, you know, are gonna come out low, and we can actually, even these upstairs units, a lot of them, we can bring them out low too, you know, maybe possibly drill them through the floor and come out low. So you won't have a lot of that coming down the side of the building. We'll have PVC pipes sticking out. We can paint them to match the building too, but, you know, some 2-inch PVC pipes, I don't think that'd look too bad. We're kind of stuck, you know, if we put a furnace in that corner, I mean, we kind of got to go there with them. So, you know, they could end up into a spot where You may not like them the best, but we may not have another choice, but I don't think it'll be an issue. We'd have to get natural gas here. That's another thing. A line would bring a gas line up to the building, and we would have to have that done. It really wouldn't be that terrible of a deal if they couldn't get it done this fall, you know, if they scheduled in come spring, because you still have heat, you know, through the process. So, but it would be a good idea if you guys decide just to get on the list, and hopefully they could get a gas line to the building yet this year.
Well, they'll be working on that with the jail anyway.
Correct. Yep. So there's some things that we'd have to get into play, you know, but none of them that would stop the project or anything. Just maybe delay starting the furnaces until. And you know, even in extreme cold weather, if you have like this office, if you wanted on a cold day, you know, and you had a big meeting in here and a lot of people, you could cool it, you know. You just have to go and turn that thermostat to cool, you know, for just the meeting. But and then one other thing I'd like to address too. What you brought up, Sharon, that day I was there, you know, Sharon had told me that, you know, like in her corner it was cold. We're not going to solve any of them little situations, you know. We're kind of limited, like in her office. I think it would be better than what it is, because, you know, right now she just got a one fan unit. You know, I'm going to have ductwork, you know, like here, it would do this room better. Hers, I don't think I'm going to solve that problem of being cold in that little corner or something, you know. But, you know, so there's still going to be areas where it ain't going to be perfect, you know, if it wasn't prior. But I think I'm going to get better air distribution than I will with these fan units. So better circulation, and I think you're going to have better air quality in the building. We're going to filter the air better. I think we'll dehumidify it better. Like the zoning ones and Sharon's and Rochelle's, I figured multi-stage equipment. So, you know, come on and low, it'll run longer periods of time, and it'll probably solve that situation of the humidity in them, you know, because if we keep the whole building drier, I think them vaults are going to probably be better than what they were. So, but other than that, I don't know if I have much more.
So we'd be able to get a ballpark for electrician by
I think so.
next week or
Yep.
something?
I kind of wanted to kind of get your guys' feel a little bit before and do you guys have electrician of choice? I know Kirk had hooked the unit up out here. I don't know if that's up to you guys, but I'd have to pick one of your choice to kind of just walk through, and I could give them a basic idea of, you know, loads that we need and stuff, but I really don't think it'd be too difficult of a job for them, you know. With the suspended ceiling, everything can be done. Just that upstairs one would be our challenge, and there might be a panel up there somewhere, you know, that I don't know about.
Whoever you like working with.
Okay, I can, if you want, I can visit with him after I leave here, and I could certainly, I think he'd probably go get you something pretty close by then. And then the only other expense you'd have to be looking at would be, you know, the rougher, and I don't think that'll be much. I don't either. Yeah. And that don't have to be done till spring, or it can be done in any time. You know, we can have the units out there and all ready to go. But then will probably be some of the rooms you'd want to cool first.
So are you guys okay with tabling this till next week until you get a chance to walk around?
If you need a motion, I'll make a motion to table. When would work for you, Rick, to walk through?
Whatever works for you guys, I'll make it work.
I'll say I've got a meeting at noon today, but
I can make any time today work. 3:30, I'm busy till 3:30 to 4:30, other than that.
I'd take a second to table this to the next meeting, unless anyone else has any questions.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Rick.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. If you want to keep these two.
Sharpen your pencil. Did you hear Jerry? He said sharpen your pencil.
Gotcha.
He said gotcha, Jerry.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks. Discuss relocating and removing the trees on the courthouse grounds.
How about the count, we did the county compensation, it was before that, Ed? Did you miss that?
Discuss 2024 changes to the county compensation board. What do you guys want to do with that? So counties have said they're going to get rid of it, or said they're going to keep it.
Yes, I really don't care which way we go.
Previously, that there were elected officials that had indicated they may not have representatives interested in continuing, so. It didn't make much sense to force them into finding someone, in my opinion. Is there someone here that wants to strongly advocate for continuing or reestablishing it? I think we probably just go with its being or no longer being in place. It happened July 1 regardless, so. You have to look into it a little further as far as to show your work, and I think ISAC will provide some guidance. But one county official I talked to said they were going to ask department heads to come in and make their request as to increases to pay, and that would, in their estimation, justify or satisfy the justification and show your work process. So maybe altered from our departmental review to some extent, or start that process a little bit earlier so we know what we're working with. I thought maybe it was worth considering.
I'd take a motion from whoever wants to make one.
I personally don't know that a motion needs to occur because July 1 they were ended,
Anyway,
and unless we establish one, that's
So we
where
just,
the requirement's
we
on
can
us.
just let it coast then until July. Or,
That's my opinion,
okay.
but that's one thought on it.
That's, I'm fine with that. So I guess if everybody's all right, just letting it ride off into the sunset, I guess that's what we'll do. Okay, now we'll talk about the trees. So.
Closed session in a minute.
Trees might be more of a discussion, one. Oh,
Maybe.
It might be.
Alright, 9:30. Possible closed session to provide secondary roads employee.
Is he here and has he requested it or?
He has not requested a closed session, but he's here. He wants to come in.
Certainly may.
Not until somebody makes a motion, you wanna go in closed session, otherwise everybody just hang out.
I was gonna say he has to request it, doesn't he?
We're not evaluating what I got from Jack.
Oh, I thought he had to request it.
We're not the ones determining anything, that's the engineer. We're just discussing the situation.
Morning.
Good morning. Oh, we're not in closed session, we hold it open.
Do you guys want a closed session or open? Open or closed?
I don't think we have the ability to close it without the employee requiring it, yeah, requesting it, sorry. And
We'll just have an open
I
session.
don't know what needs to be discussed. I think we have a department head addressing the issue, so I'm not sure what needs to be addressed.
Who's paying for what?
If there are any costs involved with this issue, they will be paid by the employee.
Okay. That was the question I got from the insurance company on Friday, and I didn't have an answer for him.
There was a cost of insurance that would be borne by the employee. If the employee can obtain the insurance that ICAP requires, then ICAP will not charge anything to our premiums or anything like that, so there's no cost in that. If there's any physical device required, that would be borne by the employee as well.
That answers all my questions. Anybody else has any?
I don't have any problems with it.
We can move on.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
You let Brian know, come back up.
Yep.
Brian wanted to hear about the trees.
Oh, somebody does want to talk about you.
Well, Brian wants to hear about them,
Oh,
in case it becomes a free for all or for sale type.
he wants the tree outside of his office to provide shade, maybe?
More like he probably wants to transplant one, because they're nice, healthy trees, if that's the way the county goes.
How long it takes to grow a tree, I think we should probably just remove it.
Just not in front of this one.
So do we gotta hire somebody to cut down those trees that are too big, or is that something Reggie's qualified for, or no?
No, when I talked to Reggie this morning, I think it's this one tree that's too big to move. Andy can't move it. but he was gonna see if he can see if somebody else can move it.
He did not tell me who. He estimated a different entity could move that tree and estimated $1,200 for that one to be moved.
So which trees are we talking about? These,
Well-
like that one?
The two purple ones,
Okay.
and then I understand the three greenish yellow ones going down. There will be one that would remain by the sidewalk.
Or like that big one is the one you're saying, so like they move that right there.
It's not one. I would favor all of them being utilized elsewhere, not destroying any of them.
Yeah.
I think at $1,200, it's worth saving that tree, having it somewhere.
Would, so someone would be able to move that?
I asked
big one?
John to send that drawing, and the silt fence would get close to that one closest to the arched sidewalk. He doesn't show the next one on the plan, he just shows the two, so. Andy said 4 trees could be moved, and he couldn't move that one, so I'm assuming it's this one and those 3 could be moved.
Okay.
But looking at the plans in the building, I don't know why that second one would need to be moved, other than it might be inconvenient for construction. But the building plan shows a narrow exercise area that ends about the end of that oval around that monument now. I don't think that tree would be too close to the building then.
So did Dow's move that big one?
Andy didn't tell me who he had talked to, but there is
Somebody that
could. As to, I think one should move along the arched walkway. And kind of
Thank you.
Maybe 2, but it would become a little bit more problematic in the construction process, I think.
So do we have to go out there and put a flag where we wanted to stick those?
I suppose, yeah.
I would like to request John to have flags out there for maybe discuss this further next week and see. Another thought I'd had is the city park in Sibley had received, or lost a number of trees over the last few years. If we can't relocate them on the grounds here, that might be a good place for them, as an idea.
And maybe Reggie go out and kind of see where he let them all around them.
Yesterday, he didn't seem to care too much at all, whatever became, it became, but yeah, we certainly can and should talk to
So
him
maybe by
again.
next meeting, if somebody wants to go out, I don't care, we just go flag wherever you think the trees would work best. And we can walk outside and have a look at the flags and.
Yeah, I don't care where we put them, I just don't want to lose them.
I would really like to see them utilized somewhere, even if not here. And Andy in his bid said he would be interested in purchasing them. I'd be nervous about just giving someone the okay to buy them off us, because then not everybody had the chance, so.
They charge for trees. What? Trees are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
I personally think either use them here if we can, or on other county grounds, or give them to the city, just because of proximity, but just an idea.
As long as we don't put it in front of the window on the south side.
Oh, I would love to have a tree. But we'll table that until next meeting after we got a location for whoever wants to drop flags out there.
Okay.
I think a motion to table.
Motion to table it to next week.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Conflict of interest policy. Same thing we do every year.
conservative.
It's good.
Motion,
Do we have to have a motion on that?
yeah.
We should, yeah.
I'll make the motion. Accept the conflict of interest.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
You're gonna have to yell, because I can hear about half the words.
Motion carries. Tinnitus makes everything sound so loud in my ear, I sound like I'm talking loud. Oh, discuss potential joint county and city of Ocheed TIF agreement.
I visited with Arlen last night, and the council moved to go ahead with the county on that. And what they would like to see is a 60-40 split, 60% for Ocheed and 40% for the county. And I don't know, I guess I think that's fair. That's on those green bins that the elevator put up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a deal where if we're gonna do it, we gotta do it quick. Because otherwise we'll run out of time.
I guess the one thing I'd like to see out of this is not a repeat of the Harris situation. I think everybody should get their own legal counsel to handle their end of the matter.
And we should have a contract signed between the two right away.
Because you could still use the same firm, they'll give you
Oh,
a
yeah.
different attorney, but just as long as everyone's got their own legal, so we
To
don't.
get it set up, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't end up with what we had,
Yeah.
that other thing.
Yeah, I don't wanna go through that again.
It'd save a lot of headache.
And I think they've got their own city attorneys, so that would work.
We're probably gonna have to use Ehlers and Cooney on this, because they're a tip,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, to get a contract signed up between us and them, we could use Noland and whoever their city attorney is. Or don't you think that'd work?
Well, maybe. I would think we have to use Ehlers for that, but I could be wrong. For that, but I could be totally wrong off
If we
base
do,
on
we
that.
do. How does everybody else feel?
I wanted to see the conversation started, and I was told to try and take advantage of the city, and that we'd done enough together, and so I'm glad attitudes have changed, but I'm a little disappointed that the way it started.
Do they have a project?
The streets, they've got, and the museum, they've got a bunch of different projects they want to work on.
Does that fit within whatever the uses for that money is?
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that split, Jason?
It seems quite reasonable and fair.
I would make a motion, we do it. With the 60-40 split.
Then do we have to have a motion to just seek out legal counsel too, or is that
Yeah,
That's,
you ought to have a motion to seek out legal.
Can we put that all into one?
You could put it all into one.
maybe adjust the firm, I suppose. I don't know.
We can put it all into one. I'd say we go with Ehlers and Cooney.
Can you do that? Because we don't have anything in there appointing an attorney in that.
Yeah, that's what I don't know either.
Should this be one of those things where we maybe wait till next meeting, since it's next Tuesday, and have a draft written up from the city to see kind of that we're all on the same page with how they want things, and then give that to Ehlers and Cooney, but here's what we want to do.
And say if the city discussed it at their meeting last night and voted on it, to go with it.
Okay, I'm saying like just the groundwork, how it's spelled out in the contract, as long as they have everything in there that they want. And if it's only the 60-40 thing, then we're good to go, but I don't know that we can appoint an attorney since we don't have anything on the agenda to do that. I could be wrong, but.
I'd encourage a motion to request an engagement letter from Ehlers and Cooney with the participation split discussed.
Okay. So is that your motion?
Yeah.
Okay. I would take a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Who's gonna call Ehlers and Cooney then?
Who do we want to have our one here with it? When we call
Every time we call, it costs us money.
them? What doesn't?
Yeah.
Doesn't it include both those things in improving the tip and the letter of,
Approving legal counsel to draft.
They would come in, I'll call Harlan, have him here too at the same time.
Okay, I don't know if they'll be available. I'll have to check with that Jenna. That's who's our tip person. I can email her and see if there's a time that would work.
For clarity, this is an amendment to the existing, I believe you are 6, right?
No, yes.
Are those grain beds in that or are they in the ethanol?
I think they're in the
I thought they were in the ethanol. But I could be wrong. In that area. We'll have to check. I don't know for sure. We were checking on that. We were kind of decide, but we thought that was with the
Well, I think
ethanol.
it would be logical for this to be amend the Ochean support to urban renewal area versus a different one, wouldn't it? Since we're already participating with Ochean on that one anyway.
But the windmills are in that one though, right? So would you have to specify that this, would that 60-40 split carry over to the windmills?
No, because right now that's 100% for them.
That's what I'm saying. If you amend it,
Yeah.
does that change that allocation, or do you just shove it into the ethanol and have a clean
I would
slate?
think it
Attorneys would have to answer that, but it's possible that the Ochean, or the windmills would no longer create revenue, because you might have to create a new base when you amend the plan. I don't remember how.
seems
It's
to me
all
that's
worded now.
different.
Well, it might be in that area, but since it's a different district, I think we're creating a new one, is my understanding of that. But I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, there's gonna be a big process for all the approval, but.
Yeah, it all has to be done by December 1, so we gotta get going on it.
Yeah, because our time's running
When
short.
do you gotta have that done by?
December 1.
Okay.
And maybe we'll request a letter of engagement, and when they hear the timeline, it's not possible. They'll be able to identify that.
We just might have to ask special meetings between the city and the county, which the city was, more than agreeable to that, so.
They were ready for special meetings.
Well, all it would take is them giving a consent agreement. That could be at any meeting prior to our establishment.
Right,
That's what we missed last time.
okay.
Okay, then if you want to email them and let me know.
Okay. Do you know, is there any days that work better for Arlen and Jan this week that you know of?
I think the rest of the week is okay.
Okay, okay.
But I don't know to schedule all of it, so.
I get it.
Because it's like, well, I have this, well, I can.
As long as we're just, I mean, it's on there. Are there projects that you could see being of interest? I'd just thrown out the idea of paying for that road faster, paying down that debt as fast as possible. It doesn't mean that is the only thing we could do with it. If there are other ideas, they could certainly be considered or incorporated into the plan. As far as from a county project standpoint.
Well, we could do that. We've got a jail going up we could put money into. There's a lot of things we could.
Don't think we can support the jail with it. We'd kind of floated that idea before the bonding, or before the vote even. I don't think this jail would be a project that could be supported through TIF, but.
Yeah, they said no to that. They said no to doing that, the jail.
I'd almost bet secondary road would have a place for it.
Yeah, they're spending a lot of money.
What?
Sure, they're spending a lot of money.
I know, that darn engineer.
I think Keith is the winner of the claims prize.
Well, the truck showed up, like I said.
Yeah, 643 is a big number.
That's just the snow equipment. The trucks cost that amount just for the chassis. So you're talking 1.2 million for those trucks fully outfitted. Of which we got, I think, about 750 or 800,000 from insurance for all the trucks all told and stuff like that. So when you look at the net cost we spent, we got a bargain for 4 new trucks.
Yes, we did.
There's also a shop payment in there too.
Yeah, we haven't seen future insurance rates yet either.
Well, we saw this year's insurance rates and they went up quite a bit.
The grant allocation, what's that?
Yeah, well, she gets that $10,000 every year. And so she can, Buffy watch the art, when you watch The Office, so she can use that grant
Oh,
to
okay.
pay for that. She's supposed to use that up at 10,000 every year. That's pretty hard to use up in Osceola County. You can only buy so much equipment, and
Yeah. Did they increase it this year too?
13,000, and 3 of it's supposed to be for training.
Going down to the claims. I would make a motion to accept the claims, or to pay them, I should say.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Do you know who's DD 43? Is that you? Allendorf.
Yeah.
I keep paying attention how quick we're gonna get done. So that's pretty good walk through now.
I'll probably come back over pretty good. I figured we'd be out by the time. I just called it. Is there any other committee reports?
I think I went a week without a meeting.
They had the, Iowa Public Television was over filming over at the hospital last week for that Best Care for Better Babies program. So I think they said that would be on the television come December or something. So that'll be a good highlight for our county. Got anything else you want signed down there? You good?
Nope, I have a couple more things. Let's see, is this one?
What's Stanton's number? 3118.
Whose?
Stanton's.
I have Rick's cell phone number.
Oh, do you?
Sounds pretty close. 4118.
I think. Are you sure?
Well, you got the claims, so. Yeah.
I got 7.
Do you want to walk along through the building with Rick?
Huh?
You want to walk along through the building with Rick?
Oh, is he coming back here at 10 or?
I'm gonna call him and see if he will come back.
I got 461
Engineer
1599.
that's gonna, okay, structural.
I'm not a structural engineer.
I think it's right. I could be wrong.
461,
461 1599.
There's not a lot of structure you can damage in a concrete building.
1599.
You can drill holes wherever you want. Didn't hear him say much about return air though.
That was gonna be my question, and how they.
461 1599.
Yeah, that's the same one I got.
Office doors to be open. Suck it all to the central location.
Hey, Mike.
Mike.
Hey, Rick, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Would you care to walk through right now?
Yep, I can be up there in about 10 minutes. That'd be okay?
That'll work.
I'll see you then.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
Bye.
Michelle, I'm gonna bow out now. My phone's about dead anyway, so,
Okay.
okay.
All right,
See ya.
thanks,
Yeah,
bye.
thanks. Yep.
That's it.
Thank you.
Oh, guess we got one more thing left.
Wait,
Need that last motion.
you got it.
I got support.
Leroy wants to stay.
Support a motion to adjourn?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed, same sign. Adjourned.